Have you ever recently tried to change your house insurance or your car insurance? And you can't talk to a real person. There's lots of questions you have, lots of information you need to know. Are you making the right choice? Is this the product for you? Are you going to be doing the right thing? When I recently went online to look at car insurance, I found myself talking to a chatbot, an automated little icon in the corner that asked me various questions, but then directed me to more questions. Didn't actually speak to a human being for about 10 minutes. But that was okay. We got on well enough. I didn't fall out with the chatbot, and I don't think they fell out with me. Recently, one of my colleagues suggested at a meeting, wouldn't it be a great idea to have an Archdeacon chatbot in the corner of the computer where you could ask the questions? You wouldn't have to speak to a human being. Most of all, you wouldn't have to speak to the Archdeacon. You could actually just get the information you needed, or at least be directed to the information you needed. Well, the technology with the Church in Wales doesn't quite extend the chatbots at the moment. However, we are going to launch a new Facebook page. We looked at this for some time and thought was the best medium by which we could communicate, as widely as possible, the information that's needed to make ministry areas run more efficiently, more smoothly, and ask the questions and answer the questions, where we could share good news stories, where we could work together to overcome many of the difficulties we've all faced in implementing ministry areas, but also share the encouragement of success where that has happened as well. Most of us now are into the end of the first year. We've filed our accounts, we have made our annual reports, and we've had our annual vestry meetings. So the mechanics of ministry areas are something that we may be starting to get used to. Not without its problems, not without its challenges, but we're starting to move forward. In the next 12 months, a lot of the things we'll be doing, we may have done already. Many of you have already done your working agreement or are working on your working agreement. And I know some ministry areas are also now looking at their mission action plans, which is good news. But there will always be those small things that crop up, those questions, those routine things, perhaps to do with marriage, perhaps to do with graveyard regulations, perhaps to do with simply how we as ministry areas function together with our finances and with our people. And you know what? I think it's best to learn sometimes from the mistakes other people have made and to actually share together our good news stories. What are we doing together well? What are we still doing as churches individually to proclaim the kingdom of God where we are? Because ultimately, that is what we want to do. Yes, we can put all the facts and figures on a Facebook page. We can direct to documents and information. But ultimately also, it must be there to encourage us that what we're doing is right, that the stories that we're sharing can be replicated elsewhere, that things that are happening in the north of the diocese and the south of the diocese aren't in isolation, that those good news stories that we all have can encourage one another and enable us to move forward. So no chatbot, I'm afraid. That would do me out of a job. Not quite yet, thank you. But we can actually provide a platform where we can share the information that's necessary, but we can, more importantly, share the good news about proclaiming the kingdom of God, the love of Christ, to each other and to those who seek him out. So use the format, use the Facebook page, share your good news stories, post as much as you like, and ask the questions that need to be asked, and we will try and do our best to answer them. So welcome once more to something new, but something that's there to help and encourage. Thank you.